Fantastic. In that same kind of thread, just feel it's appropriate. Is there anyone who really just wants to thank Jesus for something sort of publicly, something that God has done this week, over the last couple of weeks? Come on, Paul. Got a cue. Brilliant. That's what I like.
Many of the Christian bookshops in this country have closed down. Our Christian bookshops survives by the grace of God, because it's his shop, his lighthouse in Southend. Please pray for it. The bookshop at this time is debt-free. We owe no man anything because God sustains it. He brings in seekers wanting Bibles, prodigals who want to come back to God. We seek out, we reach out to the prisoners in prisons. We supplied 88 prison libraries free of charge. Pray that God will show us what he wants us to do next, because he's God.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord. My name is Deborah. Hallelujah. Wanze. I'm from Nigeria. I want to thank God for 1st of October is Independence Day, and it's 67th year of Nigeria independence. I want to thank God for my family, my loved ones, my siblings, my cousins, and everybody. I want to thank God for my bus. I want to thank God for my job. Last week was an interesting week. I want to thank God for taking control over Mrs. Goober's life and family, and my family too. Thank you.
Fantastic. Anyone else? Good.
Yeah, I just really want to thank God for his sovereign hand of protection on my daughter. She's a doctor, and she's been working some long shifts and late shifts, and there was one night where she was meant to finish at 10 o'clock at night, and she finished actually at 12 o'clock at night. She left the hospital and went to the car park and found that her car wouldn't work. Now, she lives in North Wales. Signal's not the best, and as you know, some of the roads are very, very busy. There's lots of country lanes, but she was exhausted. She phoned up and says, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've called the RAC. They've told me they can't come out for another 3-4 hours. So I said, my first thought was, have you got enough charge on your battery? And she says, I'm going to go back into the hospital and charge my battery. Anyway, the RAC phone texted her back to say, oh, we'll probably be another half an hour. Then they text and says, actually, we're going to be much longer than that. It could be another 4 or 5 hours. So she was already very, very tired, and I was concerned that if the car did start working, driving back another hour and a half to get home, in the fog, in the dark, in heavy rain. So we just really started praying. Anyway, the RAC rang her back and said, actually, we're going to be much longer. We're going to order a taxi for you to come. So my thoughts were, oh, Lord, let it be a woman. And there's a taxi service called Pink Taxis. And it was a lady driver who came to pick her up that night. And her feedback is that she was really lovely. My daughter was able to kind of even rest in the car. And she said, Mom, I'm so glad I didn't have to drive, because as I was driving, there was fog coming down on the mountains. We could hardly see, and the rain was so horrendous. She said we had to do like 20 miles an hour in like 50-mile limits. So she says, I don't think I would have made it. So I just thank God for his protection, in protecting in ways that I